Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga. You are already listening to Boom Radio. Just leave the dial there. Settle down. Listen to it. Open your ear. Don't touch it now. Boom Radio. Live and direct. Frank Donga in the building.
Good day. Once again, it is time for the Boom Bar on your Boom Radio NG.
And truly, I think that some things need to be explained. A lot of explanation, though, but we will get to that. Also, there is a lot of talk around a few universities. The EFCs are all in the news. There's updates from AFCON. AFCON seems to be getting a lot of buzz. I don't know, maybe it's the times we're in, or it's just evolving, or AFCON is really getting better, because it seems to be like a thing. Other countries that seem to even be what's the word now, using it as a form of tourist attraction. I don't even know how to explain this, but anyway, we're going to be talking about AFCON. ECOWAS is in the news as well, and a few other things as time goes on today. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into today's show. First things first, today is the day that we play AFCON semi-finals, just in case anybody was asking. So yes, today's AFCON semi-finals, and it is actually the semi-finals is going to be played today. Both games are going to be played today. There is a lot riding on it for every single person on this. I think that to a large extent it's bragging rights. It's bragging rights for a lot of people. Honestly, I will not even lie. Someone like me did not. I won't say that I had written Nigeria off, but I didn't see Nigeria getting to this point. I won't even lie. I will not. But also, when you actually also look at the stats, it might look poor to a lot of people, but I was reading it today. Up until now, Nigeria has not lost a game. They have conceded the least amount of goals. So, as much as a lot of people, me included, might want to criticize them, it's quite a feat. Like with the number of games that had been played, I think they played about 6 games. It's not a bad idea. They've only conceded 1 goal.
They should have played about 5 by now.
5, okay,
Yeah,
3.
because it's 3 at the group stage.
Then the round of 16, then the quarterfinals. Yeah, 5 games. They've only conceded 1 goal. I think that's a lot with the keeper. Also with the defense, a lot of people have been praising Nigeria's defense, that their defense is really solid this time around, and I think it's a lot. Also with those 5 games, they've not lost 1 game. I think they've only even had just 1 draw. Yeah. Looking at it compared to a few people that are still in the game, someone like an Ivory Coast that are still in the game. I don't think that it's all. Personally, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, congratulations to all the countries that are still in the AFCON finals. At least
nobody's going home at this point.
These are the best that Africa has at the moment, regardless of the FIFA rankings that sees their top 5 ranked teams out already. You know, it's a rare thing. And if it wasn't for history, you'd probably be even thinking that all these other 4 countries are...
Yeah, interestingly, I was reading to them. Yeah, Nigeria seems to be the only one that is still like ranking a little bit
Yeah,
according to FIFA.
we were ranked sixth, so the highest ranked team still remains there. At the quarterfinal stages, we, of course, were playing the least ranked team at AFCON, and we, of course, prevailed. Nigeria prevailed. When I say we, I mean Nigeria, because I'm a Nigerian, and we're happy for them. But however, it's the same cautious optimism that we have deployed that I'm going to ask people to hold on to. Now we're live at 3 o'clock West African time, but this program is going to be repeated in the 7 o'clock hour. So if you're listening to us in the 7 o'clock hour, the game is on as we speak. You understand? Be calm. Support your team. Everything's going to be all right. It is the type of tournament that leads to something big, because usually when they are not expected to do anything, that's when the Eagles fly. The last time under Stephen Keshi, in fact, he had gone to a radio station in South Africa, they were hosting then, to resign. He spoke on, I listened to that program where it was like he was done and everything. That's during the tournament. Do you know how bad it was?
How bad that is, yeah.
But of course, it was prevailed upon to continue. And look at him. Eventually, he won.
They won that cup.
And one of the things that Keshi, he's dead now, sadly. One of the things that he had always
It would have been beautiful if he was alive to see this now, yeah?
Yes, it would have. But one of the things he had always pointed out that I also want to highlight, and he more or less opened my eyes to it, is how we look at the AFCON, and it shows you the typical African way of thinking. Now, I don't have a problem with expatriates. There are Nigerian and African expatriates functioning in other parts of the world. But I'm saying that you must be the best for them to bring you in.
Yeah.
They're not just going to bring you in because you're Nigerian.
Yeah.
Oh, this person is Nigerian. We know everything about Afrobeat, so yeah, let him come and teach out. No. You have to be the best in that field. Sadly, Africa just brings in coaches that are not adding any value to her in any way. And this is a problem. And Keshi really talked about that. Again, the local coaches don't get the kind of respect that they deserve. They don't. And that is another problem. But after all said and done, the games have been interesting. The Eagles have done their best. The Bafana have done their best. Cote d'Ivoire, they were written off now. They might be making it to the finals or even win. You never can tell, because here we're being as unbiased as possible, and of course Congo DRC, nobody gave them a chance, exactly with the kind of game they were playing, they were just not going to win anything, but they were not losing. Do you understand? They're not winning and they're not losing until it got to the knockout stages where they were condemned to win or go home. So it's going to be an interesting day of football.
Definitely.
There's this passive rivalry between Nigeria and South Africa. And on social media, it has gone into overdrive. Nigerians on Twitter, they move in packs. You get, and whenever you call out one, be careful.
You think Nigerians are fighting with themselves? Wait until you fight with one.
And again, talking about them fighting themselves, Nigerians, it is the same things that they used to diss themselves that the people they fight will not throw at them. Oh, you people don't have light. Oh, your president is ugly.
He does not move Nigerians.
But Nigerians, when they come. I hope that this stays as a social media banter. There's a letter that's been making the rounds, and people are talking about how, the Nigerian Commission is telling Nigerians to be careful, the ones who live in South Africa. Yeah. Because they have an history of violence.
Yeah, a lot of violence.
When it comes to it's something they call xenophobia.
Yeah.
But that letter, I never took it serious because it looked strange to me. I'm like, even the dating was wrong. The day the letter came out, it was dated ahead. I'm like, okay, how did this happen? It was released on the 5th, and the letter was dated 6th. So I just had issues with the letter. But now that they've not debunked that they put out that letter advising Nigerians, it's like some kind of travel advisory, be safe in South Africa, especially because of football. The South Africans have responded. Dulupo asked that one.
Yeah, they responded and said that it's just false alarm and that Nigerians are safe. The honest truth is that I think that looking at a lot of things that have happened between Nigeria and South Africa, or happened to Nigerians in South Africa in the last couple of years. I honestly really think that Nigerians need to be safe out there. But also, if it really goes the way of Nigerians, which we hope it does, I think that the honest truth is I don't think everybody would be as accommodating as the Ivorians. I'm sorry if it would sound somehow, but kudos. I saw a video. I remember this was the group game between Ivory Coast and Nigeria. How Nigerians were taunting the Ivorians right in the stadium. And not once did we hear of any form of violence. I think that it is wonderful. I think that it is mind-blowing. I think that it is something to be emulated. But the truth is that I don't think it's everybody that is going to be that cool about these things. So I also think that in a way, in our own way of trying to be celebrate, we should also celebrate when Super Eagles win. I think that there should be a bit of humility as well, so that you don't,
Again, quickly talking about the videos of Nigerians made in Cote d'Ivoire, when we played against them, you're never supposed to be in that side of the stadium in the first place. There's a seating arrangement that is done globally, and you're not supposed to mix as fans. It's dangerous, very dangerous. Please, if you find yourself in that situation again, don't do it. Don't do it. So I just wanted to chip that in when Dolupo had mentioned this. He's still talking about AFCON and all of these things. Africa finally seems to be getting a lot of respect. The way the AFCON is being covered by the foreign media is commendable. They are welcome to finally see that, this is why we like our AFCON, regardless of the timing of the year. And that's why we actually played around this time of the year, So I'm so happy that that has happened, and hopefully this would lead to more things for us as a continent, as a continent. But speaking as a continent, one of the countries that has crashed out is doing some brisk business now.
Oh yeah.
According to some statistics.
And before we get to that, quickly, before we get to there's obviously that we're gonna get up to.
We have a message on YouTube though.
Oh, okay, please go ahead.
And it's from Tokumbo or Jekunle.
Hello.
And he says Nigerians in SA should be cautious when celebrating in victory.
I totally agree.
I
totally agree. Also, Wako Kanu, a Nigerian football legend, has predicted that Super Eagles will win the 2023 AFCON. Would we say it's out of sentiment?
Well, whatever it is that is driving Wako Kanu, let him be correct.
Yeah, I really...
But I have adopted an approach that has helped me. One game at a time.
Yeah.
So
just play the next game, win the next game. And
statistically, if you look at it, being in the semifinals is a Nigerian birthright at the AFCON. It's a regular thing for us.
So it's not a big deal.
Is it that we crash out early or we just get this far and go to the finals at?
So it's not,
as it stands,
it's our thing.
Egypt has won the AFCON most times.
Yeah.
I think they won 7.
I think they won 7 times.
Nigeria has won 3. But we have more AFCON medals than Egypt. Nigeria has 15. Egypt has, I think, 13 or 14. Oh. What does that tell you? Egypt has 7 gold. That's what it means. Nigeria has 3 gold. But there are 12 other medals, which means 3rd place, second place. You understand? We have 7.
So it's AFCON is Nigeria's,
it's a thing.
Well, they're used to this. So I really hope that it's in the past couple of years, I think this is a team that a lot of people are really proud of. They're doing a lot. They're playing their hearts out. And it would just really be nice if they won, really. Even for just them alone, it's serious ego boosting. Some people's career, e.g. the keeper, is probably going to skyrocket.
Yeah. So there's a letter that I saw on social media talking about the goalkeeper, Nwabali. Nwabali plays for Chippa United in
South Africa. It's interesting.
Now, I don't want to believe this letter that I saw. It is claimed to have been signed by the chairman of the club that they are supporting their player. You know, there was one amazing statistics that that letter highlighted that made me want to believe it. They claim that the PSL, that is the Professional Soccer League in South Africa, has supplied the most home-based players, the most players from a particular league, 30 to AFCON.
Wow. So it's time to actually really look at what's happening in South Africa.
Exactly. So look at it this way. In the Nigerian team, there's only one player from the Nigerian Premier League, and he has not kicked the ball once. Ojo Olorunleke is the third goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He has not played 1 minute at this AFCON, and he plays in the Nigerian Premier League. But Nwabali, a Nigerian who plays in South Africa, he's
benching everybody. He has benched everybody. People literally, there was a scare that he was not going to, he wasn't going to play. Come and see begging. And I think that he's fantastic. The way he's going, he's probably going to, with the stats he has, probably has the best stats right now in the tournament.
Yeah, himself and the South African goalkeeper, Williams, they're kind of at par, the number of clean sheets and this and that. So this game is going to set them apart.
Yes, it's going to do a lot.
I'm still talking about them, and a feature of a goalkeeper is confidence. He must be confident to the point where his defenders are also confident that we have a strong guy, and he exudes that.
Yes, he does. He does.
He's very calm.
There was
a time when he was shouting at one of the. That is what we want.
I think that I saw a write-up where someone said that this is the best and the most confident goalkeeper that Nigeria has had since Enyama left the team.
Yeah, so
and it's
early days.
Yes,
but let's hope that it continues.
I hope that the South African League know that if he goes on like this,
he's leaving.
He's leaving very
There's
soon.
already talks. Even the club said that that his performance has created a global buzz for Chippa United. We are here in Nigeria now talking about
the
team that he plays
probably for. The Europeans are very good at picking up this.
Finally, for me, I don't know if it's finally on the AFCON team. Finally, for me, one of the biggest fans of the Super Eagles is a certain Pastor Jimmy Odukoya. And he has taken it upon himself. Like, when they say, religion and this doesn't mix and blah, blah, blah. The man does not care. He actually takes these things so serious that he prays for them. And last week, we mentioned how one of the NFF members at Aisha Falade had taken a video of him to the players to see him praying. Of course, the team has responded, and they sent him one of their branded T-shirts, because I think their theme for this tournament is Let's do it again. So he has received this T-shirt with a lot of excitement. He's made a video, and of course he has gone to pray. He has gone to pray again. So it's a combination of many things. But again, if prayer doesn't do anything for you, at least it instills confidence.
It does. It does.
These are the things that we're looking out for. And we're also asking people that at the end of the day, please remember that it's just a game.
It's just a game. At the end of the day, let's calm down. Okay, before we leave, because we're still not leaving AFCON because there's something you still want to say. But before we leave Nigeria, the Progressive Governors Forum have now doled out a whopping 200 million naira in support of the Super Eagles players.
I like that. People are going to say, blah, blah, blah. But for one moment here, please, I like this. Now, as at previous tournaments around this time, that's when this kind of things happen. It's fine. But that's if they go far. So when were they at the last tournament? Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Again, kudos must go to the federal government. They cleared all their bills.
They did. That helps a lot.
Not only did they give them what they wanted in their budget, there's a backlog
that was also cleared. Yeah.
That has made them concentrate. So every other thing that comes in now is a bonus. It's a plus for them. And I already see the same thing happening before, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I see it happening when they finally make it, and there's this.
Oh no, I can
this,
imagine.
this,
I can imagine the.
Is it the barrage?
I don't know. I
don't
can
know.
imagine.
I'm
It's
trying to
just
look for
going
a
to
word
be
of
amazing.
gifts.
Yes, it is going to be amazing.
Streets will be named after people. All sorts of things is going to happen.
It's going to be a very wonderful feeling. But like you had said, one game at a time. This game, we're going to play this game and we're going to win. And we'll be back tomorrow for that. Anyway, we're still talking about AFCON. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, and of course, on the AFCON tip now, statistically, the tournaments are usually hosted to boost business also, It also helps them improve on their infrastructure. And the countries that always get all the exposures, and they're also supposed to make money from it because tickets are sold, people will stay in their hotels, they will fly
It's
locally.
good tourism and all that.
It's supposed to be a business. Except you're Qatar and you're just doing it because
you just don't need the money because
money.
you have the money.
Except
and you
you're Saudi Arabia and you're like, you know what,
we're spending the money.
we have the
can
petrodollars.
do it.
But usually everybody that hosts tournaments also gets some feedback. But guess what? This one is not trickling down to Cote d'Ivoire alone. Cape Verde.
Cape Verde. I decided.
Cabo Verde is ripping. There is a talk now, statistically, of an upsurge in people visiting the country just off the back of AFCON.
And they're talking about how they probably have the most beautiful women in Africa, and a lot of people want to see what it is there.
So, AFCON has also boosted Cape Verde. And, the funny thing is, a country that doesn't even have up to 1 million people living there. And in fact, the bulk of the Cape Verdeans live outside the country. So, if you go there, please behave yourself.
Behave yourself, oh.
Behave yourself.
You don't know.
And yes, those women are fine. We get it. You saw them on the cameras in the stadium. We know. But behave yourself.
Very important.
Thank you very
important.
much. Thanks for coming to our TED
Talk
on Cabo Verde.
Anyway, Trey, I think at the moment, I think that's all we have on AFCON right now. At the moment. We never know. Anything could come up. But like I said, we're coming back to come and...
yeah. So if you're just joining us, you are listening and watching the Boom Bar on Boom Radio NG. Please remember to like, comment, leave a comment on our Facebook and YouTube. Share with your friends. Share on your WhatsApp status, or your social media. Help us grow our numbers. Tomorrow, we're going to have a special guest at the bar. We're going to be talking some specifics about that, but don't go anywhere.
No, definitely do not go anywhere. Now, let's move on from that, and let's go on to an update of something that we spoke about yesterday. So yesterday, there were talks, or no, not even yesterday. I think this conversation started on Monday, when NAFDAC had announced the ban. It was yesterday. Sorry, I'm mixing up. It was yesterday, where we had an extensive conversation about the ban of alcohol in sachets and PET bottles less than 200 milliliters, and them shutting down a few places here and there. And we're talking the pros and cons towards it. Now, the members of Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria has now stormed the premises of NAFDAC in Oshodi to protest the ban of the sachet and PET bottle alcohol drinks. They're saying that this singular ban will send about 500,000 breadwinners out of job into an oversaturated labor market.
This is a quick feedback on what we discussed yesterday, and this shows you that there are other angles to be considered.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get it muddled up. In case you didn't listen to what I said yesterday, let me rephrase. I think this ban is needless. We don't need this ban on alcohol in sachets and small PET bottles, less than 200 ml, because the same alcohol is sold in larger quantities. So where is the sense in your ban? I had pushed back about it. I know Dolupo also had some very intelligent things to say and said, look, it will work that way. And I said, it won't reduce anything because I know people can pool their resources together. And something hit me this morning when I was out walking. I remember when bread started getting expensive many years ago, many years ago. I'm talking maybe 20, 30 something years ago when agege bread, just became a thing in Nigeria, then suddenly started getting expensive. The bread sellers devised a method. They started going out with knives.
Yeah.
And they would cut the bread. So for a person that could no longer afford to buy 50 kobo bread, because it was 50 kobo, now is 1 naira, they would bring the one and cut it. In fact, some people would say, give me 30 kobo bread. And they started cutting bread. It became a thing. Now, the person who could not afford to buy a whole pack of butter, the bread seller will now scoop some butter and say, okay, this butter is 1 kobo. Do you understand? And it's a complete package for you. Then later I noticed that they moved on to mayonnaise and bread. This is how it works. That's how it works. That's commerce. That's commerce. So if you're talking about banning it for health reasons, ban alcohol completely. But if you are banning the production of small quantities of alcohol, you're just fooling yourself. Let me tell you another thing. Apart from people that will now stoop low, and I won't call it stoop low, that will now step down to the point of drinking the unbranded ones. You see, the women who sell these things, they carry them in large quantities in big plastic basins and put them on their head, and they have different brands that they are selling. They also retail them. They retail them. So if she knows that she's going to be losing money, she will go and buy the big bottle and be selling to them in shots. Do you understand? You won't achieve your aim of stopping people from drinking alcohol.
Okay, so I have an issue with this people. Makes sense, yeah? Your argument makes sense. Now, these people protesting. I remember reading the statement from NAFDAC 2 days ago, actually, and how they had said that this was
2018.
Something that they had agreed upon with this same association 2018. Everybody had signed towards it, and they had said that they were going to give a 5-year period to phase this thing out on the market. So if there are documents, or there is a document to you agreeing to this thing as far back as 2018, what's the sense in this protest?
Extremely senseless protest. Let me tell you, but it might achieve what it wants. But it's senseless in the sense that you agreed 5 years ago. But let me tell you how these people operate at times. They tend to...
Is that you forgot?
No, they don't. They did not forget. They tend to have this attitude. She be in our government. Now just talk. Nothing go happen. Let me explain to people who don't understand broken English. They have this, a lot of people have this attitude that it's just a pronouncement. 5 years, they would have forgotten. They would have changed the chairman of NAFDAC. This would have happened, that would have happened. I'm telling you, this is how they think. And that's why they didn't protest then. That's why they didn't do anything. But when they saw that,
agreed to it.
When they saw that Lagos State moved on the styrofoam ban, and NAFDAC a week or two after moved on banning alcohol in small PET bottles and sachets, they woke up suddenly and realized that over 500,000 people would lose their jobs. Can we afford for 500,000 people to lose their jobs? No. But can we afford to have an unhealthy populace? No. So again, back to my point. If you're banning alcohol, that because the consumption of alcohol is killing people or causing problems, ban it outright. But you are banning it because they are selling it in sachets. It don't make sense. It will not deter them. It will not stop them.
It won't stop them. Okay, we'll see. We'll see where all this is going to, if this is going to end. Now, I know this is not something that we had planned to talk about, but funny enough, it's a video that I heard him play, and I went to look for it. So earlier in the day, a particular person, and why I want to talk about this is because I think that we're getting to a point where our education is not only deteriorating, I think common sense is in the mud. Sorry for the, what's it called? But Okay, so you might be wondering what I'm talking about. So earlier in the day, a former Big Brother Niger housemate was in an interview this morning, and she was asked a very simple question. Nigeria has a Nobel laureate. What's his name? As far back as primary school, it was a current affairs question. Yeah. I do not think, as much as I know that Big Brother Nigeria helps a lot of people get into the spotlight, make them big, they make them celebrities overnight, and all that and all that. I think that we should get to, maybe there should be some level of common sensical test. You can't be going on TV and be embarrassing yourself this way. I think that it is completely, it's sad, because these days you hear a lot of people, a lot of young people say a lot of very dumb things, and you're like, wait, am I the odd one out here? It's becoming an epidemic. It doesn't make sense. We cannot keep going on like this. You cannot keep looking and acting blonde, and because you are on a TV show, you're suddenly a celebrity. It doesn't make sense. Are you going to tell me that this kind of person in the next 20 years is going to be a senator or House of Rep member or governor? Or what kind of people are we churning out?
Oh, there's a comment from Tokunbo Ojekule. He says, excellent. I don't know which of the words that prompted that, but yeah, excellent. That's what we do at Boom. You know now. You know how it is. All right, so don't look more. You had to go there.
Yes, it's sad.
Now, for as long, honestly, I love the entertainment industry. That's where we even work in, because this is entertainment. But for as long as the brands, the government, everybody puts more, investments and lays more credence to entertainment against education, we're going to have these problems. And I'm going to go back and sound like my regular broken record. Parenting is still the issue here. Dear parents, how well have you trained your children? Educationally, emotionally, and otherwise. Because for a child that claims to be a graduate of a university that is on national TV and can't answer some of these basic things, then you start to wonder, like, okay, who trained you? Who raised you? Which schools did you go to? How did you pass, from one exam to the other?
Like,
this is a reflection of our situation. It shows that things are messed up with our educational system. It's the fact. Because, you see graduates that can't even write cover letters. They can't. They can't even write a line to save their lives. And they are graduates with degrees. So let's take that and don't put it aside. Put it on the front burner. There is a problem with our education. So I'm not even going to mention this Big Brother housemate person's name. But I remember that when we were growing up, there were a lot of educational programs, quizzes and all that on TV. And we actually loved watching them. There were debate shows. We had debate clubs in school. And some of those shows made it to TV. And we were watching them. But now, I'm not saying that don't stop entertainment. In fact, let it grow more. But, they can live side by side. Like, what is wrong with you being a beauty queen and being intelligent? What is wrong with you being a music producer and being academically sound? Absolutely nothing. We can achieve both. They are not mutually exclusive. You don't have to be in entertainment and be dumb. And you don't have to be academically gifted and, hate entertainment. No, that's not what we're saying. But watching that thing on Channels TV this morning.
It was just sad. It
was sad. Extremely sad.
It was just sad, really, really and truly. But anyway, we would see. We hope those kind of things don't happen again. Anyway, moving on from that, Lagos State has announced that it's set to convert the Ijora under bridge into a recreational space. So this place, I think, was in the news about last week, where the commissioner for environment and water resources had lamented how fuel users, modelers, miscreants were occupying the space, and it was posing a security risk. They had cleared out everybody from that place. There were videos of the place getting cleared out. Now they're now saying that they're going to convert under the bridge into a recreational space.
Yeah, I don't know about recreational space under Ojota Bridge.
Ijora?
Ijora Bridge, I don't know. But whatever they do, don't let those guys come back there. One of the issues that I've always had with security in Lagos is that most bridges are dangerous places, especially at night. So if something happens on a bridge, you find that within a split second, there are people that are coming at you from nowhere. You don't know where they come from. You know, but most times they actually are lurking under the bridge and all of that. So I'm glad that they actually gave them that 5-day notice and they followed up with the total clearance of the bridge. It's a place that many years ago I had walked through during the day, that bridge, because we didn't want to pay for transport to where we were going from Costain to Ijora. So we walked, and funny thing is a lot of people were walking too. But on the return journey, we walked too again, so that we had enough drinks. We had enough money for drinks. You know, when you're young, you do stupid things.
Anyway,
but years after, they don't burn anybody papa to the waka that kind of waka, because
so
these places became
like
very
you had
dangerous.
said, hope that those people do not
Just
get
don't let
back
them return.
there.
Clearing them out is just part of the job.
Make sure they do not return. Now, let's go all the way to Oyo State in Ibadan, where the Oyo State government now has an update on the Ibadan explosion. They're talking about how they've identified 3 masterminds. They're saying that the number 8A and B on that street, the Aderiola Street, the epicenter was actually 8A and 8B on Aderiola Street, not Dejo Oyelese Street.
All right.
That it was just
Was the effect?
it was the effect, yes, and said that it was a water gel type based explosive that was triggered by an electric spark.
Okay.
No, they're now saying that as at 6 p.m. on Friday of 3rd of February this year, which was the 18th day after the incident, a total of 335 affected people had been registered, including 16 companies, churches, mosques, 3 schools, and as far as the University College Hospital, UCH.
Wow. The radius, the circumference,
Yeah,
the impact was massive.
For anybody that knows that place and knows where UCH is,
That's
you
massive.
know, that's massive. Definitely massive.
Well, kudos must go to the governor and the people of Oyo State, his entire staff. They really have stayed on top of this one. Our prayers now is how they're going to take care of the people who are involved. I know the federal government has plans for them. I hope it comes to fruition. But how do we prevent these things from happening again? So please, dear people, if you see something, say something. Please.
Exactly. Now, moving on from that, let's go all the way to the House of Representatives, where the bill for the Electoral Act amendment has now scaled a second reading.
Right.
Now, you're wondering, the Electoral Act was just signed in 2022? Yeah, if we're correct, yeah. But with that, we've also seen that even with the updated version, there are new things that keep popping up. There are a few things that are still cloudy, that there's still a bit of gray areas in those things. Not saying that the people that did it then didn't do a good job, but there's always room for improvement. Let's put it like that. So now, the House of Representatives had now sat on this bill where Honorable Francis Wave was the one that sponsored it, and this bill is proposing that general elections be conducted on the same day, meaning that the federal and the state elections, to save money, time, and as well as preventing a bandwagon effect. Wouldn't it do the same thing though?
No, it wouldn't. It's a good bill, and at some point, I have advocated for this. We're still in a place in Nigeria where elections are conducted like war. Like, why do I say that? You must stay indoors. There's no free movement on election day. Some other countries, people vote on their way to work, and all of that. But Nigeria is usually a Saturday, and everything shuts down. Now, you have 2 of that kind of day within the space of 2 or 3 weeks. It's not good. If you have to have that, make it 1. Why is it going to be cheaper? Now, guess what? The cost of producing the materials will be the same because it's the same voting slips that you give for different rows. But the logistic cost is completely off. So if you're going to have a supervisor for 187,000 polling units, you're going to pay them twice.
So my question is that, I get your point, but the bandwagon effect this person is saying, how is it that the person, so we're saying that presidential, Senate, House of Rep, governorship,
House of Assembly.
And House of Assembly. Now,
and if possible, local government.
So what we're saying now is, wouldn't it be the same thing? Because how are you sure that someone that is voting for a particular party for presidential is not just going to vote the same thing all through?
I don't care about bandwagon.
This person is one of his issues.
I'm not going to speak for him. I wish we could talk to him and ask him what he meant by bandwagon. I really do. My own is that if you're 18 and above and you're duly registered to vote, you should be allowed to vote the way you want to vote. But please, vote the best people in. How are they the best? Study your candidates. And if you're a party person, you want to vote for your party, it is still within your rights.
Now, it still has other things. This amendment is also seeking to make electronic transmission of results compulsory. Punish persons who file frivolous petitions with heavy fines to reduce the number of cases that will end up in court.
As long as we have the technology for it, let's go ahead and have that. Let's make it mandatory. As long as we have the technology for it.
I honestly think that do we have the technology for it? The truth is that we realize that electronic transmission of results also, even in the so-called a lot of places that, anyway, like you had said, that's if we have and I think that because it is the internet and all that, I honestly think that there is more room for things like hacking. There is also the issue where devices just shut down. So I don't think that we should make it compulsory, but it should actually be there. Also, he's talking about punishing persons who file frivolous petitions with heavy fines.
Yeah, if I had sponsored the bill, it would be slightly different, but I love the concept of that. I'm sure we've already said that at the bar more than once. Again, look at the calendar clearly. What is most important now, based on experience and looking back now with the benefit of hindsight, what is most important are the party primaries. So the party primaries should be organized in a way that the electoral body is involved. That will reduce the electoral petitions. Because if someone is cleared...
Are they not involved? They just don't do their jobs.
Okay. At the last election, did we have multiple primaries or not?
That's what I'm saying. The INEC is not doing their job.
That's what I'm saying now. That a law that mandates that if there's no INEC, there is no primaries. That's one. That will reduce all the issues that come from primaries.
But also, when he says frivolous petitions, I think it's subjective also.
I'm going to address it in my own way, but I'm just trying to add a modification to it that if you do proper clearance, the parties on the parties to clear their candidates properly. Mm-hmm. That will reduce so-called frivolous petitions. 2, if INEC has cleared someone then you now go to court and say the person is not to be cleared. It is not the party, or it's you and INEC. The election will carry on. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That if we actually do everything by the book, like properly screen people and know that this person cannot contest or should not contest, then you can't go to court. There's nothing to go to court on, because INEC too will tell you, we're not coming to court because this person has been duly cleared. You know, you've done your security checks, you've done the checks on their qualifications and everything. That's when they can now come out to contest for an election. So the primaries should start earlier. That's what I'm saying. Then again, the window between the inauguration and the election should be adjusted in a way that all the legal issues are handled that might emanate, are handled before inauguration.
Finally, this amendment is also asking that INEC should carry out fresh registration exercises for eligible voters every 10 years, I think. I think that's going to be a lot.
I think what they're trying to say, maybe you should read that thing very well.
Yeah, they're asking for fresh registration exercise.
Exactly, fresh. And I'm saying, why?
I think it should be an updated one.
What INEC should do, it should not be this 10-year, 20-year thing. INEC should operate like the passport office and the driver's license.
I think so too.
INEC should be
every time I get
places.
in there, the only time this thing should stop is when you're close to an election.
Yeah. INEC should be in those places and say, okay, you know what?
Already an INEC office in every state.
Where's your NIN? You have your NIN. They check their database. Oh, you never voted, or you take. Oh, why did you misplace it? There will be ways to check these things and all. You see, getting registered for election should not be when it's time for election. It should be like a normal thing where I can walk into an INEC office to say, I want to register to vote.
Yeah, exactly. So we will see what is going to happen, but keep in mind that this is still just a conversation in the House of Reps. It still has to pass the third reading, then it will be passed on to the Senate. That is if the Senate also passes it, and then it will now be sent to the president. So it's still a long way to go, but we will see what happens. Now, speaking about elections, before we leave the matter of elections, we're going all the way to Senegal, where the sitting president, has now postponed. There's supposed to be an election that was scheduled for February 25th, and now the president has now announced its postponement of the election. Now, this postponement has now caused a lot of rancor in the country. A lot of civil groups and opposition are calling it an institutional coup, as the parliament is saying that they're proposing a new election date for as far as August 25th.
Okay.
This
ECOWAS. Say what you want to say.
Now, a lot of people are talking about this because keep in mind, this president has been there for 10 years already.
So, I haven't studied the Senegalese Electoral Act or their constitution. I don't know the requirements or how long he's supposed to be there for or not. Does he have powers to do this or not?
I think he does with the backing of the parliament now.
Or not, you get, and all of that. But for as long as Africa keeps producing this kind of leaders,
yeah, we can't keep doing this nonsense.
Africa will stay backward.
He can't do this nonsense. It's not possible.
How would you now say that you didn't know that the elections are coming in February,
and they're going to postpone all the way
to August?
To August.
It is more or less someone who is saying, I don't want to leave. I
go.
need time to organize so that I stay in case I lose this election. I don't want to lose. I need time to tweak the system to favor me. And this is where you will know if ECOWAS is just a toothless bulldog or just a mice.
So ECOWAS Commission is encouraging them at the moment that they should restore the electoral calendar with provision of in line with the provision of the Senegalese constitution, They're saying that this needs to help so that they can douse the tension in the country at the moment. We do not know if Senegal is going to answer. But also, a human rights lawyer in Nigeria, Femi Falana, has now asked ECOWAS to sanction Senegal, calling it an illegal postponement of the elections.
I hope that they would have small sense eventually and allow the people choose their own leaders.
Yeah, I think it's just wrong. I think it's completely and totally wrong to continue like that. But it is what it is. But we will see how it goes. Now, moving on from that quickly, the EFCC has now charged the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, with 80 billion naira fraud. But the government is against it.
That's the new governor.
Yeah, their witch hunting is daddy.
Why wouldn't he allow the EFCC to do their job?
I think it's just an allegation at this point. So what's their problem?
So they are quick to defend him.
Yeah, I'm like, so that's where I'm coming from. Like, if it's just an allegation and you know that he's not involved.
I won't say that he's guilty, and I won't say he's not guilty. But I would say that if he has nothing to fear, allow the EFCC do their job. You're not the first governor that has been accused of malpractices, maladministration, fraud, or whatever. But some of them have survived and some of them have been jailed. So if your hands are clean, Mr. Yahaya Bello, you just relax. But why is the new governor quick to say that? It's a tad bit irritating, though, that he's not going to focus on the assignment at hand. He's already becoming someone's defender of the universe. Okay, face your work. Let EFCC face their own.
Exactly. I really think that they should just calm down anyway. EFCC had also announced the arrest of 41 illegal miners and that the fact that they had seized 12 truckloads of lithium in Kwara State from these people.
Hi. We really need that those new set of security people who would protect our resources. I know that the government is already talking about floating some kind of force, that's dedicated to this kind of work, because the police, the army, the navy, the air force, and even the civilian JTF, they're all outstretched at this point in time. We need to recruit more hands and put more people out there. I saw a few minutes ago that Amotekun in Ondo State has, arrested over 100 people from the forest.
Yeah, they're also talking about the talks. I'm not sure of this completely, but the talks of a few people being arrested, and even the mastermind of the mastermind of the gang that killed these kings and the kings in
the three kings,
two in Ekiti and one in Kwara State, and the abductions and all that. There's talks of an 80-year-old person.
Yeah, we've seen the pictures, but we're waiting for official statements.
Yeah, official statements on that. But we'll definitely see.
Very sad.
Any which way, the Nigeria police had also announced foiling fresh kidnapping attempt in Abuja. Kudos to them. It's amazing that this happened.
So they had a top policeman named Igwe who had been promoted and transferred out of Abuja a few months ago. But a few days ago, he was brought back as the commissioner of police. And the man came with some fighting talk. He said, tell them that Igwe is back. I hope this is an effect of Igwe being back, because he's an operations person.
Yeah.
He's an hands-on policeman. He's not one of those ones that are hiding behind paper and biro. So I pray that we have more people like Commissioner Igwe, and that Nigerian security really becomes better than what it is
way,
at the moment.
way better.
Because it's a lot of work, and
it is.
We're not very happy with it.
It is. Now, moving on from that quickly, Dangote University has suspended its staff member over alleged physical assault on students. Please.
When you say staff member, do you mean lecturer?
I don't know. Did not see staff member. Actually lecturer, because it's academic staff member.
So that lecturer did not go to a Nigerian university. where it is said that you do not lay your hands,
You don't lay your
on,
hands on
anybody.
anybody. You
But
don't.
now you are now a lecturer. They're
Do
getting
whatever
physical.
you like.
But is there another story to it? Is there an angle? Was he self-defense, or was he just being aggressive? I would like to get more on this, but I'm glad that the management has moved to suspend the person, and the suspension means that they are going to investigate it. But I hope that one doesn't find oneself in this situation. If it's a normal thing and you just went overboard, okay, you're gone.
You're gone. I think that it's just ridiculous that anybody would want to lay their hands on anybody. Now, before we go, finally, very interesting news broke today, where there's talks of
Code Zobo.
Mohbad's mom, the late Mohbad. There is an audio that was said that it was her, where she had alleged that the person that everybody knows as Mohbad's dad is not his dad.
Okay, well, if the physical attributes are anything to go by, the boy actually looks like his father, the one that we know. But they say in a woman they know who the person, Papa. Did she actually make this audio? Did she actually say this thing? Well, DNA no go hard anymore now since they have already taken his body out and they've done a lot of
Looks like a
tests
lot
on
of
it.
DNA needs to be
And
done.
since they are DNA, they want to DNA his own child. Maybe they should do DNA on his father too. They must have taken his sample now to confirm the DNA anyway. You know, so this is interesting as the case may be. I just hope that they will let Mohbad rest.
I thought I was the only one. This is just,
You know,
so much drama.
and
really,
again,
and honestly.
sentimentally, the man raised that boy, even when the woman left
Exactly.
for 13
So
years.
now
or
you
so.
now come back and say that it's
So
not his own.
you can't even.
Auntie.
Honestly, maybe I'm thinking like Oyibona, I don't know, but someone raised the child for 20 something
And then you
years.
suddenly now come and say
And
that
it's
it's
not
not
his
his
father
own.
again.
Suddenly just woke up and remember that it's not his own.
Eshe Momiwa,
Let's try and substitute that.
mommy of the year.
Mommy of the year. Any which way, we're just alleged, we don't know if whatever it is, but I hope that what gist of this comes out. But on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back. Oh God, you and your eyes is getting into the microphone.
Yeah, Code Zobo.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time. But be sure that tomorrow we're definitely going to be having a very interesting guest.
We have a guest.
We're going to be talking about something different,
Beneficial.
very, very beneficial
Financial.
to everybody who's
Educated.
watching and listening. So
Informative.
please don't miss tomorrow. Call everybody, invite everybody. It is Boom Radio NG everywhere. So have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Thanks for the comments too.
Yep.